So it blew my mind. The weird thing from my angle with going to all these different churches is like I was seeing no one talks about Jesus Christ more than Latter-day Saint churches.
I'm spending money like I just got paid. $100 bills, tell them keep the change. Come on.
But what are you going to do with all the evangelical churches that hate you now because you're Mormon?
We're going to find that out.
Pop a bottle, about to make it rain. Let me give you something now to celebrate. Come on.
The strange thing is like the Book of Mormon was like a common denominator at those I went
And if
to.
you're wondering why I move the way I do, I just feel so good.
And it's like a big part of my conversion was I was hearing so many testimonies. I was hearing so many people talk about Jesus Christ. Even just away from church, people are talking about Jesus Christ to me. And it was just so much, love and peace and joy and just
The following is an episode of WardRadio and does not represent the thoughts or the opinions of KHTS, its owners, or any of its affiliates, nor does it represent the official opinion of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. With that said, sit back, relax, and enjoy the program.
So good.
Bro, what are you going to do in your third round?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you did the first season of 52 churches in 52 weeks. Where you visited 52 churches in 52 weeks. Awesome, bravo. Mm-hmm. In the second round of 52 churches in 52 weeks, you found the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, which ultimately resulted in your baptism therein. Okay.
It took a while though. So it was a 2-year process.
Yeah. But it took you 2 years. But either that was season 2, for lack of a better term. And now season 3, you say you want to go back and do another 52 churches in 52 weeks. But you're going to do it kind of in a unifying way, to be kind of ecumenical about this whole thing and raise money for St. Jude, which I think is a noble cause, right?
Yeah.
But what are you going to do with all the evangelical churches that hate you now because you're Mormon? No, but like, I'm serious. Like can't.
We're going to find that out. So, for me, like I'm a peacemaker. I'm trying to find, like, maybe I am just super optimistic. But I like to bring, like, Jesus Christ, he's all about healing. He's all about peace.
No,
he's
but
all
you
about
don't
protection.
worship the same Jesus. That's the problem. Like, bro, see, I'm this way too, bro. Like, I'm just saying, like, I feel like a kindred spirit here. I'm cranky now because they did this to me. It's a trauma response, okay, here. But like, what do you do when somebody just says, no, we're not the same because you worship a different Jesus?
Oh, that's the $1 million question, it seems like. And it's like, the weird thing from my angle with going to all these different churches is like I was seeing no one talks about Jesus Christ more than Latter-day Saint churches. And it's like a big part of my conversion was I was hearing so many testimonies. I was hearing so many people talk about Jesus Christ. Even just away from church, people are talking about Jesus Christ to me. And it was just so much love and peace and joy and just all these fruits of the heart. So I was seeing Book of Mormon believing churches, it was just translating in a different type of way. And the strange thing is like the Book of Mormon was like a common denominator at those I went to. So it blew my mind. And it's like that just furthered my curiosity and my understanding that I needed to know more about this.
So it was kind of like an actual practical thing for you, huh?
A little bit. I mean, there's a ton of reasons that I can't get into all right now because there's just so many different things as, everything. But yeah, with the fundraiser, it's like, what can we do now? So like a large part of the church visits will be Latter-day Saint type of churches. But, I still have a little curiosity. There's other type of church, like I would love to visit the church for Martin Luther King.
Yeah, that's cool. I lived in New York, man. There's a couple. Well, when you say the Church for Martin Luther King, do you mean the denomination that actually gave him his position as pastor, or do you mean certain churches? Because I've been to the black churches that he preached at. Multiple ones in Brooklyn and New York and so on and so forth.
So
famously.
I believe this one is in Atlanta. So that was one that I wasn't able to visit. There's also some that I'm very curious about that have just that American history. So I want to see maybe some churches that U.S. presidents went to. There's a Church of the Presidents. I'm very curious to see the church that Donald Trump grew up in and Joe Biden, to kind of see what that all looks like.
I bet you there's a lot of gold in the one that Trump grew up in. I bet you
I'm sure the Trump Tower is close.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure it just says like, instead of like Trump, it's just like Jesus. You know what I'm saying?
It was the best
big
church.
gold letters, right?
It's the most shiny church you've ever seen.
Yeah.
Everybody tells me.
A Eucharist tastes better than all the other Eucharists. You know, like that'd be
really
hilarious.
good.
They're serving Trump wine and Trump steaks. You know what I'm saying? That's hilarious. And then the Joe Biden church, what's that going to be like? Ice cream instead of the Eucharist? They have ice cream.
That would be interesting to see.
And the priest is just like walking around trying to remember where the pulpit is to start the sermon, right?
Like a Roomba.
Yeah, that's hilarious. So you've tracked down the churches that Donald Trump and that Joe Biden grew up in.
Mm-hmm.
So there's hard to track down, or is it just like you do a Google search?
I was doing all kinds of Google searches because I was trying to find out where every single U.S. president went to church. So that was interesting in itself. But there was a part of me that wanted to visit some of these, but it's like, does anyone care about where, William Taft went to church? I don't really think so. I'm not going to focus too much on that.
Yeah, but like it'd be interesting, JFK famously being Catholic and having to give that.
Because I want to see the history of that.
That would be fascinating.
What was the persecution that he was facing? Because Catholics were being heavily persecuted in the early American history. So to see how that impacted, to see, this is the Pope's way of getting into the United States. Mm-hmm, tell me more about the history of that. So if I can sit down in that would be interesting.
Okay, sorry. Luke.
I've just had a thought of a possibly cool church.
Please.
Do you know if there's a church at Los Alamos where they developed the atomic bomb?
What?
I mean, because they basically like built a city out in the desert to make this atomic bomb. And they wanted to give it like schools and everything, so all the families came. So they probably had a church there.
Oh, an abandoned church at Los Alamos.
Like the church scientists were going to while they were building the most destructive weapon in the world. Like that would be quite interesting.
That would be interesting. And the last question here, bro.
Yes.
And I just got to know of all of the churches that you visited. And you may even go back and visit in this third trip of yours, okay? What was the one that most resembled the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints? Where you thought, okay, most amount of crossover that was not within the Restorationist movement, like the Bickertonites, obviously, that have the Book of Mormon. What's another one where you're just like, dude, this was a close second? I'm betting Catholicism. To me, it's got to be, because the authoritative question, right?
Yeah, but it's like the whole setting, it just looks so much different with, the building and the structure and the gold and everything like that.
Based.
Okay.
But we are going to do an episode of David Boice audits LDS church services.
Oh. Do you walk around with a clipboard?
I mean, I can. Do you have a red marker? Like maybe I could do some grading
and white gloves,
check marks,
just white gloves on the primary. You know what I'm saying? That's
funny. Hey, that's convenient.
There you go.
All right, awesome, cool. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing this, my man. I'm looking forward to seeing this. For this and more, please check us out at WardRadio.com.